in experimenting with these tools, so while they can generate a lot of content for a blog post, writing some of the more in-depth pieces that we know our engineering audiences crave, like white papers or case studies or app notes, there was not a good solution for that quite yet. And even with the shorter form content like blogs, we saw a lot of repetition throughout them. So, for example, like with using ChatGPT, we asked it, what are what should be considered when designing a new test system? And it gave us a list of 10 points, but 9 of those points started with this system should be able to. So there was a lot of repetition throughout. And even with some of the more marketing focused tools like Writer, Co-Write, and Jasper AI, there was repetition between paragraphs. So it would start a new section, and then sometimes it would repeat some of the content it already wrote. And kind of to that same point, the writing it's pretty basic. A lot of these tools are programmed to write at a 6th grade level, and that is, to make it simple so all audiences can understand. And that results to us in a lot of not so much detail, just a lot of definition. And from the research we've done, we know that that's not necessarily what our technical audiences are looking for. They're looking for the detail. So we saw that that was lacking a bit. And also not necessarily always pulling facts correctly, especially around what companies do or what products do.
Ooh.
And we'll touch on this more, but I think that has to do with, back to not wanting to pull things directly from online, but knowing that, these tools are getting their information from the internet. So also, I think another thing that with AI generated getting to that level of writing that most engineering audiences would expect, and this is a little speculative, but I think if it were to get to that point, it might sound like reading a textbook. And as marketing professionals, that seems kind of like opposite of what a lot of our audiences are looking for. We spend a lot of time, making sure our customers have a distinct voice that's unique to their brand. And I don't know that reading a textbook is what they're looking for right now. And one more thing that I do want to touch on that kind of what's not working right now is I think from a marketing perspective that these tools, they're not set up at this point to take a potential customer and guide them through a purchasing journey. There's a lot of, it's more one-off content. So it's not, what we're looking for as far as like, here's some introductory content to you're moving further down that purchasing funnel and getting closer to making a decision.
Okay. Wow. That was kind of a long list.
That was a lot. Yeah.
Where the tools are not today. And one of the ones that stuck out to me that you said was, the tool is trying to give you unique content, but yet you still want it to talk in your brand voice and, align with your company messaging, but it's avoiding that, so it's kind of this catch-22. So I guess that leads me to ask, what about plagiarism? So original content versus just repeating something that's already out there. What are the concerns around that?
Yeah, I can talk to that one. So we really found plagiarism not to be an issue. It's scouring already created content. So plagiarism is not an issue, but because of that, what's happening is these tools are pulling content from websites and rewording them. And I think sometimes rewording them like sentence by sentence. And if you take a sentence about there's not really another word for a dynamometer, right? It is what it is. And when you get into these like technical details, they can't be reworded or they become inaccurate. And so that's kind of an issue. That's like the double-sided coin of there not being plagiarism. The other thing is, if I put my branding hat on, right, we create messaging for companies, and then it's like, man, this messaging's got to be everywhere. Your customers, your prospects only interface with you once or twice a month, maybe. They get your e-newsletter and they get something. You've got to have your brand message has to be out there first and foremost. The descriptor that comes after your product or the benefits that your company provides or your tools provide. And if you're rewording those all the time, you're going to lose that brand awareness and that brand kind of iteration there. And so I think that's really important.